In the most lacerating episode of Max's dearly departed comedy The Other Two, the characters attend the premiere of a Broadway show titled 8 Gay Men with AIDS, a poem in many hours. Wondering about future roles for his method actor boyfriend, who stars in the play, Drew Tarver's Cary wonders, is there anything coming up that is prestigious and gay, but doesn't have, like, nonstop trauma in it? The fact is, we're not at a point, as a society, where we can stop telling stories of trauma. There remains a cultural need for narratives that foreground the AIDS epidemic, that acknowledge the horrors of the Holocaust and slavery. That said, if you're going to do a trauma-fueled, decade-spanning odyssey of gay life from McCarthy to Reagan, weaving in the Red Scare and the early days of AIDS, comparisons to Angels in America are going to be inevitable. And you won't win. Ron Nyswaner's Showtime limited series Fellow Travelers has the temporal reach of Angels in America but none of the formal experimentaion or operatic scope, which is a bit odd since Thomas Mallon's source novel was previously adapted as an opera. A love story, a rudimentary history lesson, and, yes, an ample dose of trauma porn, Fellow Travelers is by turns vital and stodgy, with passionate, emotional elements, stars Matt Bomer. Jonathan Bailey and Allison Williams are consistently compelling across 8 hours, in conflict with by-the-numbers storylines. The series begins in 1986 with Bomer's Hawkins Fuller, introduced as an aging family man, finding out that Bailey's Tim Laughlin has been hospitalized in San Francisco. Hawk is closeted, but living a life of fundamental hollowness. Tim is out, but dying. Back in 1952, Hawk is a war hero, State Department up-and-comer and fixer for Senator Smith, Linus Roach, in a role that reduces real-life Senator Lester Hunt to a pale fictionalization. A liberal politician who hopes Hawk will marry his daughter Lucy, Williams. But Hawk, who has no ideology other than career advancement, is more interested in rough gay sexual encounters in parks and restrooms. Then Hawk meets Tim, a former seminary student and anti-communist true believer. Hawk helps Tim get a job with Senator Joseph McCarthy, Chris Bauer with a prosthetic penis nose, on a staff with Roy Cohn, Will Brill, and Cohn's protege David Shine, Matt Visser. As McCarthy and company are making D.C. increasingly less safe for Reds and homosexuals, the outgoing Hawk and the sexually timid Tim, the series dances around their age difference. Begin a dalliance that progresses from kinky and transitory to kinky and romantic. There's also a storyline with Hawk's kind of ex-Marcus, Jelani Aladdin, an aspiring journalist who encounters racism and homophobia and falls for nightclub performer Frankie, Noah J. Ricketts. If that sounds like an afterthought, it plays like one, too. Somebody correctly noted that the story needed this thread of intersectionality, but also refused to sacrifice the McCarthy hearings material. The result is that Marcus and Frankie feel like narrative interlopers rather than fully realized characters. The McCarthy subplot is thoroughly disposable and sucks up too much oxygen from the first 5 episodes, but will be the thing that viewers uninterested in the love story gravitate toward. Brill has a rodent-like high energy as Cohn, and Bauer has fun playing dress-up. But then they were all self-hating gays. Angle is reductive, a weakness in the series. The second half of the show hops among backdrops, Vietnam protests, the aftermath of the Harvey Milk assassination, but sets aside latex-enclosed reenactments and historical name-dropping for interpersonal relationships. It's much stronger. The limited appetite for Showtime's bland, rubberized recent historical Showtime chronicles, The Loudest Voice, the Comey Rule, suggests that Fellow Travelers would have been better off focusing entirely on Bomer and Bailey, who are both exceptional. Though they never look quite convincing as either the younger or older incarnations of their characters, they overcome the mediocre makeup,